World Radio Paris listeners, this is the Eiffel Tower. You got Oliver and James in your ears.
Well, hey.
Oh, you sound excited. We got an episode here. Words. Your least favorite words. James?
Eiffel Tower with Oliver G.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. You're listening to the Eiffel Tower, your favorite podcast about life in Paris. With me and James Rosina, and me, Oliver G. Due to popular demand, we're talking words again. We did it 2 weeks ago. We had your favorite French words. Remember that one, James?
I do indeed.
James has got a big grin on his face because he knows that episode did very well, and it had... What do we have in it? What are they called?
What do you mean it did very well? We enjoyed ourselves.
Well, no, it had over 100 shares on Facebook, which is a record.
Okay.
That's by far a record. Whew. So I call that popular demand. And
so backed by popular demand.
Backed by popular demand. And this week we're doing the worst words. And James has got a grin on his face because he knows that means he gets to use sound effects again. And this time I'm going to be I was a bit harsh on you last time. I like the sound effects. It made a good episode. We even got some good feedback about it.
Did we?
Yeah, people said bring it back.
People said bring back the sound effects.
People said bring back the sound effects.
Who said that?
Samuel Barantes said
What
it.
a listener.
Yeah, I know. He was from the pilot episode, so it doesn't really count enough it counts. Anyway, this week we're going to do people's least favorite French words. Yeah. The words that people hate, the words that people can't stand. And we talked to an interesting mix of people. We talked to just expats in general. We've talked to translators. We've talked to interpreters, people that work with words, people who like words. And we've just got them to tell us the venom-laced words that they don't like.
Are there any words that you could possibly not like in the French language?
Oh, James Vazina, the Frenchman, is not impressed from the beginning, but that's all right because everybody says this with a dose of salt. Everyone likes French. Don't worry, James.
With a dose of salt.
With a little pinch of salt. A little pinch of salt. But let's get straight into it. We've got, I think, 19 words for you today. There's no point mucking around. Let's get on with
19.
19.
Let's get going.
Yeah, okay. Number one.
All right.
This is... Do you want the word first or the person?
Mate, go for it.
First word is Serrurerie. Serrurerie, which means like locksmiths.
That's right.
It's the place where you go when you're locked out of your apartment and you need to be let back in.
Did that happen to you?
Not yet.
Yeah?
Not yet, but I fear it.
Do you know what? Before we talk about that word, I've heard of this. Apparently, if you take, that one of those like plastic sheets that they use for X-rays.
X-rays. That's how you get back in.
Apparently, it's a really big thing.
I've got a friend that Stevie. He's a listener. Stevie Roger.
So he breaks into houses.
No, the opposite. He got let back into. He paid a fortune to get let into his apartment, and the guy comes with an X-ray thing and jiggles it around a bit. And I didn't even know if he got in at the end of it. My tip for you guys, if you're listening, carry around a bit of X-ray paper,
or leave some at your friends.
Leave some at your friends. Or just keep your keys on you, Stevie. Anyway, this word, Serrurerie, it comes in from Kevin Knight, who runs Expatriates magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know Expatriates magazine, the one that helps expats figure themselves out. Life in Paris. Here's what he says. I just can't get my mouth around it, and on the rare occasion I need to use it, my mouth goes into gymnastics and I look ridiculous.
To be fair, it's one of those words like... It's
too many R's.
It's like, and because when you say it quickly, you want to like skip like the vowels and you just go Serrurerie. So you're saying like, how many R's are there? 3 there?
It's a mystery that we're going to need to try and unlock.
Oh. Do it for us.
Serrurerie.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, let's get on to it. Number 2. This comes from Diane, who lives in the Loire Valley.
Are you bringing on the puns in this show?
If you're bringing on the sound effects, I'm going to bring on the puns. But number 2, Diane from the Loire Valley, which I think is where you're from, James, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Where,
I'm familiar with
which
the area.
département are you from?
37.
37.
Indre-Loire.
Which is it?
Indre-Loire.
Indre-Loire.
Indre-Loire,
Cool.
that's right.
Anyway, Diane, you might know her better as the woman behind Oui in France. Oui
in France.
Oui the website and the Facebook. Give her a follow. You know what she says? It's kind of interesting. Everyone has a different reason for their least favorite word, just like the other week with favorite words. Hers, the word first is a name. It's Aurore.
Aurore.
You might pronounce it Aurore if you speak English and you don't know. It's a girl's name, right?
Yeah.
So she says, it's so difficult. The placement of the vowels and the R's in this word come out more like the word horreur, which is horror.
Which I actually just accidentally did.
Hang on, how do you say it?
Aurore.
Aurore.
Yeah. Again, more R's. Maybe that's just the thing.
She says, to say it properly, I have to really focus and slow down. But luckily, I only know one woman with that name. And it's a beautiful name. And it's quite pretty, as long as I'm not the one saying it.
and I try to never pronounce her name and just say, "Hey, friend."
Hey, it's me, Diane. Yeah, well, we fear you there, Diane. That's a tough name. I don't know anyone called Aurore.
No, that's
You?
right.
No.
No.
Well, anyway. Number 3, this is from a French woman called Clothilde.
Very,
Clothilde.
very French name.
Easy to pronounce, Clothilde. Clothilde. And she, you might know her from running the very popular blog called Chocolate and Zuccini.
Chocolate and Zuccini.
Yeah, Chocolate and Zuccini.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So I met her the other day, actually.
Okay.
And we're going to go to sound for this one. So here's what she said when I asked her for her least favorite French word.
My least favorite word in French is blogueuse, which is ironic because I am a blogueuse technically. I think it's just the sound of it. Blogueuse is just very ugly, and so I always say that I have a blog, that I write a blog, that I'm a writer, but I just hate that.
Well, Clothilde, you certainly let your feelings be known.
To be fair, she's got a point. It's a funny word in
It's
French.
a funny old word, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know what? I've got some news for her that she's released it, but she told me ahead. She's actually going to switch, or at least on the side, do some podcasting.
Oh,
She's going to do a podcast that's called Change ma vie. It's going to be in French, but if you speak French-
wait. Shouldn't that mean that her new favorite words, least favorite words, shouldn't it be something like podcasteuse?
Well, it's funny that you say that because she's quite a marketing woman, and this is what she said as we continued our chat.
I am launching a podcast, and I like podcasteuse maybe a little better, not so much, but un podcast sounds so much more than un blog.
There you go.
There you go,
There
James. You were
go.
on the ball. It's almost like you were at our interview with us. I love it. Don't forget a drum roll at the end this time.
But by the way, what's behind the name?
What's behind what name?
Well, Chocolate and Zuccini. That's how I remembered her name. I've seen it somewhere.
Chocolate.
And I was like,
It's chocolate
Alright.
and zucchini.
yeah, but who mixes that?
She does food. She does recipes and stuff like that.
Does she mix the two together?
You know what? I don't know if she's ever made... We're going to have to get her on the show. Ask her.
Courgette cookies.
Courgette cookies.
I don't know.
Courgette. I watched
Maybe it's a thing.
Les Mis, the French movie, the other night, the one with all the Australian actors in. Courgette, one of the characters.
Continue.
Courgette?
I don't
You
know.
don't know. You haven't watched. You know what I found out about James after last week's episode when we talked to Lost in Frenchleation at the Amélie Cafe?
Oh no.
He hasn't watched Amélie.
Yeah.
And he also said none of my friends have watched Amélie either.
No, well, those who've watched it told me it's really boring, and yeah,
Ooh.
I think it's probably overhyped.
Okay. No comment there.
It's alright. I listened to your episode though, Ollie.
Thanks. and you produced it. So thanks for that, as usual, for producing. Let's get on with number 4. Maggie Kim from the blog Les Lolos.
Les Lolos.
Breasts.
Ah, there you go.
The breasts.
Are you sure it's Les Lolos?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think it was?
I thought maybe like Les Loulous.
No. That's a different thing. That's like, what is that? Like love.
Les Loulous. It's like what you call like kids. Like,
Hey,
Les Loulous.
puppet. Hey, my little puppet.
Venez les Loulous.
No. Maggie Kim's not like that. This is breasts. And that's no accident.
Yeah.
Could be an accident. Anyway, I met her the other day as well. Do you want to hear her word?
Yeah, sure.
My least favorite French word is furure because it is really impossible to pronounce and I don't think I'll ever be able to pronounce it properly.
And what does it mean?
Fur.
So is it a word you use a lot?
I have a lot of fur.
So what happens when you say it to people?
I try to avoid saying it to people. That's one of the words where I'm like, I'll just say it in English because I know if I say it in French, they're just going to do the thing of being like, what are you trying to say to me?
So, furure.
Oh, that took a while to come out.
How do you say it?
Furure.
Furure.
Another R's, more R's.
Yeah, more. They've all been about ours.
Yeah.
They're not all about ours, but this is just the order that I've randomly chosen.
Maybe you've cracked something.
Surely you have a tiger sound effect. Good.
Something
You're not
like
as quick on the buttons this week as you were last time, James. I gotta say. It's another pronunciation one. And I agree with that. I can't pronounce it. I would never use that word either. As she said, I couldn't pronounce it.
Go
I
for
wouldn't
it.
use it. Furure.
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 Yeah. To be fair, it's a bit longer than... It's like double the English word, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah.
Furure.
Unnecessary. Thanks, Maggie. I like that word. After 5, let's talk about what we did this week.
What did we do this
Well, we'll
week?
talk about it after 5. From Gail in Perfectly Paris. And she says, you know what she says?
No.
She says, Oliver, this isn't exactly how she wrote it, but I'm paraphrasing. Oliver,
This is how you read it.
Oliver,
I hate the word Putain. Putain. Which means, it's a swear word. It means like whore or.
Did she say putain? I hate putain.
Well, she wrote it to me, so I don't know how she said it. I've never talked to her before, but she says that she runs a great blog.
I know it.
Yeah, if you do you like Paris?
I like
You see some good Paris on her Facebook page. Anyway, she says, Oliver, the word putain, I know the word is used by almost everyone, and most people like it, so I'm in the minority here. And I know that it means prostitute, but I just get so sick of hearing it. And older kids and teenagers, everyone's using it every 5 seconds. And you know what? She has a 13-year-old who also says it. And I would never use it. I find it vulgar and horrible. But I like it. I just don't think I'd get away with using it. You know where we heard that word a lot this week, James?
Where did we hear it? Oh, I know where we heard it.
Where?
We're in un beaumont.
In un beaumont.
Wait. We should be clear. Why were we in un beaumont? We weren't just there just to meet Mrs. Front National, were we?
Madame Le Pen. James and I put on our journalist hats this week. You know what? Like, a lot of people listening to this show, they think that we just come into this studio, we meet, we do 30 minutes of a show, we go out, we never talk to each other.
We just come back and do the same thing. That would be boring.
We have a life outside of the podcast, and this week that involved us hiring a car, driving up to far distant northern France, the Nord, to meet Le Pen supporters.
It wasn't even that far, thanks to your brilliant Australian driving skills.
The car was... James was worried the whole time because I was driving on what is the uncomfortable side of the road for myself. The right-hand
side, Ollie.
The right-hand side. Oh, it was a struggle. But yeah, that's what we did. We went up and we met some National Front supporters and tried to understand what they were all going on.
Some strong supporters.
Yeah, strong. Talkative, some of them. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What I think was fun about that in terms of the podcast is we had an idea for a future episode.
We did, and we even got it started.
It was sparked. I'm going to give a little hint. We were sparked because we walked past a butcher that was called Oshti Butcher.
Ah, yeah.
And we said,
Oshti Boucher.
Oshti Boucher. And I said, James, what's the deal with this shti thing? And he said, Oliver, that is a language, dialect in northern France, and it's something we should cover on the show. And I said, let's do that. And that's something we've got.
We started doing that the day.
Yeah, we've already got some stuff. So you guys, that's something to look forward to, language fans. If you're listening to this episode, you're probably already a language fan. So stay tuned for that one. What do you think, James, that Lauren Collins, the author of When in French, Love in a Second Language, what do you think she would say is her least favourite French word?
Wasn't there something coming up after the fifth words? Didn't you say there was something talking?
Yeah, we were going to talk about un beaumont.
Oh, is that it?
I think so.
Sorry, I thought you were going to talk about something else. I don't know.
You're thinking too much about the sound effects, James.
You talked. Okay.
What do you think that Lauren said?
No, tell me.
I'll play the tape.
My least favorite word or expression or utterance, I'm not quite sure how to classify it, is baoué. And I thought about trying to articulate to you why I can't stand it, but instead I think I'm just going to tell you baoué. Baoué. That's all I can say to you. I'm sorry. If anybody solves the mystery, let me know. But until then, it remains my least favorite connector, filler, word or phrase in the French language.
So, James, filler words.
Baoué.
Baoué. Do you do it?
Of course. Don't you?
No, I'm not.
You should be doing it with your level. With your, what was it last week?
I'm
with
not
your
at that level.
And your.
I kind of do it. Baoué. That's a good word, Lauren. So thanks for talking to us. I'm going to take you back to Lindsay Tremudo. Remember her?
Episode 3.
Something. It was in the early episodes, and her new book's out, The New Paris. It's doing well. She's traveling around the launch. World. I went to the launch, and that's where I talked to her, and I asked her, "What's your least favorite French word, Lindsay?"
And Lindsay said,
She said that it was. She didn't do it on camera. She was busy, James. She was busy, but she said it's really similar to Lauren. Bon, filler words. Filler words.
Are they actually words?
I don't know.
Are these in the Petit Robert and in the
dictionary?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think the dictionary guys
might have to check them out?
Can you even spell them, or are they just sounds?
Yeah, bonbon.
Bonbon.
B-O-N and then B-E-N. Yeah.
Lindsay says they're filler words. They're just drawn out words that sound very little like French, if you ask me. I agree with her. Use some proper words. It's like saying like. James is upset. He's upset. You know who you'd like to hear from?
These people coming here changing our language.
Well, funny that you say that. You're a French person for you next.
All right.
Véronique.
French. Véronique.
Yeah.
Something. Okay.
French
girl won't have anything to do with pamplemousse, will it?
Not her. That was her
Nothing
favorite.
to do with grapefruit.
She's one of the few people that have been in both these episodes, the language episodes. And she was the one, if you remember, who likes grapefruit, smells like grapefruit, drinks grapefruit.
I'm just going to have a grapefruit apéro this summer.
I know. And we're going to try that.
Have you tried it yet?
Not yet, but we'll try and we'll put it on Facebook. Facebook, the Eiffel Tower. Véronique, her least favourite French word is interdit.
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 She doesn't like.
which means
Being
what, like
banned.
forbidden.
Yeah.
Forbidden.
Yeah,
She says, when you grow up in France, as she did, you see the word everywhere. It's at the park, you can't walk here. It's at the swimming pool, you can't run here. Interdit de courir. No diving. Later in life, it's part of everything. No parking, no pets, so on, so on. And it often comes with a horrid, bright red sign, in
Fair
case you're
point.
too daft to understand.
Yeah. Do you know that actually the first one on grass, like that's the most annoying thing.
That's everywhere, isn't it?
It's why would you have grass and you can't even like just walk on it? Fair enough, they want to keep things pretty.
Yeah. You know what Veronique said about it?
Tell me.
She said, I don't know if it's just me, but the words like waving a red cape in front of a bull. You don't want me to do this? Just watch.
Yeah, there
Maybe
you go.
she was banished to Seattle.
Maybe there was something behind this.
They kept catching her on the grass.
What would you say, speaking of grass, and as the weather is...
Are you questioning me now?
Yeah, I'm questioning you. What would
Alright.
you say? Because there are a couple of spots in Paris where, I mean, unfortunately there are a lot, where you can actually lie down on the grass. Different parks where you can... Where would you go to?
Which park would I lie down in?
Yeah.
Probably Boutremont. In the
good point.
19th?
Okay, I was gonna...
Hilly.
Good point. Yeah,
view.
yeah. Good view.
And there's the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom thing in the thing in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's
The little island you can go. If you've never been there, I think we've had some guests have recommended that before on the show. If
Yeah.
not, I'll be the first. You go out there
Yeah.
on a sunny day, everyone's out there, but you cross the little bridge, walk up to the top, you feel like you are Indiana Jones.
Because a lot of parks otherwise, you just can't sit on the grass.
Yawn.
And come on a summer's day, what do you want to
What
do?
do you mean you're not allowed to?
No, you're not allowed to.
No.
Well, you know, I mean,
What
take
park do
loads
you
of.
like?
I was going to say Bouchermont as well. I was going to say that's a good call. I like going to Javel as well because it's very
Javel?
Javel. It's the Parc André Citroën in Javel.
I don't even know where that is.
That's why I like it.
Where is it?
Because no one really goes.
In
It's
the 37th department.
It's not all right, Ali. All right. It's in the western part. It's in the 15th,
Yeah.
and they've got a really big like hot air. It's not a hot air balloon because it's attached to a wire, but they've got one of
Ooh.
those that goes up in the sky. You should have seen it from the Bouchermont. To be fair,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to put a link to that on Facebook.
no, don't.
No, we're
Otherwise,
not.
everyone's going to go.
Hey,
I
you know
should-
what? I'm going to do another little secret drop about what's coming up in a future episode.
All right.
I'm going to whisper it, though. If you're on your iPod listening, you'll have to turn it up for 20 seconds. We've got the secrets of Paris, according to people who know Paris best. I'm talking tour guides and stuff.
No way.
They've released their secrets.
You can't.
I know, I can. I will.
You're gonna.
I will. Shh. Okay.
All right.
You know what? I'm not going on to number 9 because we've got a new section and we need a jingle on the spot. It's called Reader Emails.
Vous avez un nouveau message.
Anyway, you're going to like this, James, because you're mentioned in one of them. But first, we've got one from a listener called Mike. And he says, how long do I have to wait until the next episode? I've listened to them all. And he sent that 2 days after the last episode came out. So I've got an announcement, Mike, that you're going to like. The Eiffel Tower is now on iTunes as a podcast. So if you're listening to this via Facebook or wherever you've come from, go on iTunes, subscribe. If you want to help the show, leave a review. However many stars you want. Well, I don't mind. Leave a review. It helps us get noticed. And that's the way to hear the next episode as they come up. You get a little ping on your phone. If you don't know how to figure out how to subscribe and all that, I'll put some explanations on the website.
And it's also available on the weekly World Radio Paris podcast as well.
I was about to get to that.
There you go.
Which also has you got a podcast and a website too.
So that's, well, on our worldradioparis.com, obviously. Then through iTunes as well, where we give you the mix of the best.
You get everyone there.
There you go.
Get all the shows.
So we get
together.
the Eiffel Tower on there, we get all our music shows, get the news, get a bit of everything, rundown of what there is to do in Paris.
Do you
Check
put
it
the
out.
Eiffel Tower first?
Often goes first.
Often.
Because it's kind of like, just a nice listen here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Put 'em to
at
sleep.
least I think it.
Put him to
there you
sleep.
go.
Anyway, you got to like the second question. It's from the person who calls himself the biggest fan of the show, although Mike also does. But this one's from Isabel, listening in Sweden. You might remember her from a recent episode. She sent in something. Are you ready for this, James?
Yes.
She says, is it just me, or does James have the same voice as the host of Grand Designs, Kevin MacLeod, who also speaks French?
We make our built world, and we choose our landscape to live in. Some of us seek out the far-flung corners of the country.
Wait, okay, let's hear him
Isabel?
again.
Is it
Isabel, yeah. What's your response?
Isabel? Listen to the Eiffel Tower a bit more.
So, okay, let's get on with it. Thanks for the emails, and please send in more emails. We love to hear from you. We know that you're as far as China and Fiji because James and I both have family in those countries. But let us know where you're from. Number 9. This word is from Guy Griffin from Café Oberkampf.
Café Oberkampf.
Yeah.
Hey, you were there last week.
So if you don't follow us on Facebook, this is what you're missing on the Eiffel Tower. I did the world's first walk show. James,
World premiere.
Yeah, world premiere. It's not a talk show. It's not a walk. It's both of them put together.
It's a walk show.
Yeah, it's a walk show. And I met Guy. He was a good sport from Café Oberkampf. We went for a walk. He showed me his quartier, and we just talked over a coffee. It was really cool. And he gave away free coffee. So if you listened to it live, you would have been drinking a free flat white from the people that make the best.
Virtually?
No, but he just said 10 free... What did he say? 10 free flat whites for the first... You know what he said? For the first 10 people that come in, wink at him and
make
say
this face.
The Eiffel Tower. Yeah, that's what he did. He was a good sport. And I've said it before, best flat white in Paris. But it's probably too late for those flat whites. Anyway, his favourite word, I recorded him. He said the same word that we heard in the best words the other week. Here he goes.
My least favourite word is grenouille, because when I arrived in France, I didn't speak French, and all the kids in the schoolyard used to tease me and ask me to say grenouille because it was like a really hard word to say, and it took me like maybe a year and a half or 2 years to actually be able to say nouille. And so yeah, it was like grenouille, and people just made fun of me. So that's my least favourite word in the French language.
Grenouille again, so from best to worst.
I know, it's a pronunciation one. And he speaks fluent French, so it's confusing. Confusing for a young guy. Literally, guy. Thanks, Guy. Let's go on to what are we up to? Number 10.
I'm loving the puns, Ollie. It's just one every 10 minutes.
You don't need to whisper. Okay, Emily Monaco, fan of the show, who I met recently.
Emily Monaco, fan of the show.
Emily Monaco, fan of the show. I wonder, she's American. She's not from Monaco. Don't be confused. And she has an interesting word. Here she is.
My least favorite word in French is actually a tie between huit, which means 8, and huître, which means oyster. Huit is a lot harder to avoid. I spent a lot of years saying 7 when I meant to say 8 to avoid saying 8 in French.
And why do you hate the oyster word?
I hate them both because it's the exact same sound, and it's really hard to make that sound at the beginning of a word as an English speaker. No matter how hard you try, you always get a little bit of a W in there, and that's a surefire way for somebody to say, ah, mais ça vient d'où ce petit accent? Which is really annoying.
You know what, Emily? I hate oysters. I hate oysters in general, so I'm with you in the hatred of oysters.
There you go.
But it's not so much about the word for me, it's about the slimy food. But this isn't a food episode. Emily's writing a book, by the way. She told me.
She is?
Yeah, follow her. She has a Facebook page. I think it's Emily in France.
Emily in
France. Check it out. Number 11 comes from Lena,
Lena the Judge.
Lena the Judge from an early episode. James, happy to have lost that episode. Are we talking about episode 5 or 6?
I didn't lose any. I was a judge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam lost it. Sam Davies lost it. Whoa. Okay.
You're only talking about it because you won it, Ollie.
I didn't. Ben won it.
People don't know what we're talking about anyway. Oh, yeah, Ben won it.
If you didn't, you should be up to date. Some people have listened to all the episodes. They know what we're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Big fans.
Creative episode, anyway.
Number 11 is Lena, who says her least favourite word is accueil. Accueil.
Accueil.
Accueil, which means welcome, or entry, or what? Welcome?
Yeah, all of them.
You know what she says?
Un accueil, l'accueil.
She says it sounds more like it should mean, off with his head! It sounds like a dying war cry, she says. It's gross. It sounds like you had 5 Guinnesses and you're burping.
Okay. I like the explanation.
You know why I'm giving Lena a shout out? Because she is the one that designed the logo for the Eiffel Tower. It's an Eiffel Tower, but instead of a little thing on top, it's a microphone. Follow us on Instagram and see similar pictures from Lena. You know what? If you're on Instagram, go on @Parisian Postcards and see her doing more sketches about life in Paris.
Sorry, Ollie, I underestimated your describing skills.
James doesn't have Instagram.
That's fine, I've got nothing to say about that.
Come on, we've got a few more to get through. Jennifer from the blog Chez Lulu. My least favourite word is bourgueil. Bourgueil.
We had Lulu, Chez Lulu?
Yeah.
And now we got Chez Lulu.
Yeah. Chez Lulu. And she says, my least favourite word is bourgueil. Am I pronouncing? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Bourgueil.
Not because I don't like the town or the wine. Quite the opposite, in fact. It's because I can never pronounce it correctly. For me, bourgueil is an endlessly frustrating word. I feel your pain. Do you feel the pain as a Frenchman? Probably not. Lily from Paris Je t'aime. She's written a book. I've got the book, haven't read it yet. but I do follow her on Facebook, and she's got some nice stuff about Paris. Her word is, and I can't pronounce this one for sure, the word for kettle.
In bouilloire?
Yeah, I can't do it. Say it again.
Bouilloire.
Bouilloire. Bouilloire. Sounds like the start of a fight. Bouilloire. Bouilloire.
Just put an R on the end and you're done.
Bouilloire.
There you go.
She says, what's not to hate? It has all the horribles. It has an R, a UI, a double L. And she says the UI plus double L is so hard for Anglophones to pronounce. She can't even spell it, she says. And what's with the E at the end? I'm with you. I don't even say that.
You shouldn't be. You can't have sympathy for our listeners because you can pronounce these words.
No, but only because I've
demonstrated.
Bouilloire. Bouilloire? Bouilloire, mate? No, I think it's easier. If I need tea, I say, donnez-moi le thé, s'il vous plaît.
Well, you're not going to ask for the kettle when you go
Donnez-moi de l'eau. If someone's got the kettle.
Uh-huh. Ah, right. Okay, you find your way around.
I work my way around.
Okay.
Bouilloire. Bouilloire. All those words, O-U-I-L-L-E, that impossible. Guess who the next guest is? Number 14, one of your favourite past guests, James. This will cheer you up.
I don't know.
Go on, have a guess. Your favourite past guest of all.
I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot like everyone else.
You tell me.
Come on, who's your favourite?
I can't say I've got a favourite.
Who's one that every time I mention his name...
I can't say I've got a favourite guest called Fry. I can't, so what?
We're meant to be impartial. No, we don't have any sponsors or anything. We can say what we want. So your favourite guest is who?
I don't know. Who? Tell me.
Corey Fry, the tourist.
Corey Fry, the
tour
history
guide.
Our history teacher.
You know what I actually met him for coffee the other day.
Do you know what? No, honestly, we're laughing, but our best episodes, we did there were the franglais wordplay, which was creative, and Corey Fry, who taught us stuff.
The Paris Whisperer.
Yeah, maybe we just should stop having a laugh and actually do serious stuff.
Be serious. If you agree with James to be more serious, send us a message. However you want, you'll find us. If you think we should be having more fun, send us a message. And we'll give 2 points to the reader with the right answer.
But to be honest, we won't change.
Here's Corey Fry, the Paris Whisperer, who had an excellent episode way early on his least favourite word.
My least favorite French word is probably one that you try to avoid at all costs, la rentrée, which means the time that when you're coming back from vacation or holiday, you've got to hurtle back into your real life, and you're back to the job, back to the kids, whatever it is, back to reality basically. And what I like is the word rentrée could be translated as re-entry, and I think of this sort of spacecraft hurtling through the atmosphere in a fiery ball heading toward Earth, and that's a fitting analogy because that's really how you feel when you're being hurtled toward your real life after vacation.
But la rentrée is often associated to like a kind of like a happy, especially when you're a kid.
Not for Corey.
C'est la rentrée.
Not for Corey.
Guess end of holidays.
Yeah. Well, good word, Corey. Thanks. Not as secretive as I would have thought from him.
Yeah, I think it's more something to do with like a 19th century, I don't know, bench or something.
All right, number 15. It's only Frank from Cake Boy Paris. Do you know him?
Okay, yeah, Cake from Paris.
He's probably, I would say, the most well-known
cake boy
in this city. And he says his least favourite word of all is écureuil.
Another œil.
Yeah, the œil. We should just call this episode the œil episode. Yeah. He said, I have had more than a few embarrassing moments trying to pronounce my dog's favourite fixation. And after 5 years in France, I'm no closer to being able to say it correctly. This word makes me so squirrely. You know what? A lot of foreigners, French people included, can't pronounce the word squirrel. How about that?
Yeah.
Go on.
True. There you go. I say squirrel. Okay.
Okay, so there you go. There's one from Cake Boy. Follow him on Instagram. He has like 15,000 followers. People like cakes. I'm going to put more cakes on Facebook and Instagram.
All right. Wait, can you bring them over?
So, yeah, why not? We should get him on the show.
We've had coffee
on
the show.
If he comes on the show, maybe he'll bring in a cake.
There you go.
In the shape of an Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I wonder if he listens. If he listens, you're welcome on the show, provided you bring cake. So, all these people we've asked to be expats and bloggers and stuff, what do you think? Who do you think knows French and English language the most, besides bilingualies like you?
Who knows French and English language the most? Besides, what was the question?
I don't know. I think you're leaning towards interpreters and translators.
Okay.
I've got two of them here. First, word number 17 from Jan. He says, animer, or animateur. You know why?
Animateur?
Yeah. He says, animateur can mean manager, trainer, MC, host, hostess, party clown even. Confusing to translate. And the verb animer is even trickier because you can even animer a concept or an ideology.
Yeah, you can. And anime, you can like bring something to life.
Yeah, confusing, right?
So I think I like the words.
Yeah, but I mean, even a party clown, he's an animateur.
Okay. Ah, right. Okay.
He's not. He's
Entertainer.
a translator, but yeah.
Okay, and it's
Well, a different take on it. Thanks for that, Jan. Sarah she's an interpreter. So there's a difference. An interpreter is the one that has it coming in your ear and they're translating it straight up. Sarah from @SarahTranslate. She says, funnily enough, it's a word that two people said were their favorite last week. She says her least favorite word is truc, which means thing or thingy. She says, Oliver, it's overused. There's too much meaning crammed into a tiny word, and sometimes it just doesn't work at all and you have to leave it out.
Whereas some would say, it's the best word in the world because you don't have to learn any others.
What, you mean Gail and Isabel from last week?
Well, hey.
That's exactly what they'd say.
That's probably them, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Truc is also some people's least favorite word.
Un truc.
Yeah.
Un truc.
We got 2 more words left, and one of them's from you, but guess what? You don't have to do it because you did it last week.
I did last week, didn't I?
Flashback?
Yeah. Here it is. It's croûte. Croûte. Let me explain. So first definition, really nice. So it means the crust, like the crust on like a
crust
apple.
of a bread, right?
Yeah, on the breads or on a crumble or whatever.
Does it also mean the end of a baguette?
La croûte. Yeah, or crouton is the little bits of bread that you harden and.
That's a lovely word, James. I don't know why you wouldn't like that.
Let me get to it. I'm getting to it.
Oh,
second part is the croûte also means like on a scab. You know, like the.
James.
Right.
Family show.
So
I don't know if my grandma turned it back up after I told her to turn it down.
We've had way worse on the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, Paul Taylor looking at you if you're still listening. But okay, so I mean scab and bread.
It does. So mixing foods and scab. Yeah, not great.
That's revolting. And that leaves word number 19, and that's from me. And I'm going to do a word I hate, and I can't even pronounce. I even practiced it with you before. It's
What?
On.
That's 2 words.
Yeah, okay, then just
Just
But say it for me.
Oh.
And it means like upstairs.
Yeah.
Upstairs. On. I think there's an N.
Or at the top, yeah.
At the top. And I hate it because I can't pronounce it. And when people say it, I get it mixed up.
Well, it's one of those words where because there's an H, so an O, where you mustn't pronounce the consonant before it.
So liaison goes out the window for
Exactly.
this one. Well, it's because of this word that I thought my neighbor in my old chambre de bonne my old rooftop apartment was a teetotaler.
Right.
Yeah, because I met him, young student and French guy, was speaking French, and I said, hey, we should meet up sometime and have a drink. And he says what I thought. He said, yeah, let's take a water one time. He said to me. So I heard, oui, on prend un eau.
That must have been funny. Come round mine for a glass of water.
Yeah, he said, come round for a glass of water. I thought, un eau, I thought meant a water. And I was like, I didn't catch it. So I was like, yeah. And I walked off and I said to my girlfriend, I was like, geez, he doesn't drink. We'll have to have a water with him. And she goes, obviously speaks better French than I do. She goes, no, he said, ooh, which means upstairs. We'll take a drink upstairs. Guess what? We never had a water or a drink upstairs or a drink anywhere. And I moved out to the trendy 11th arrondissement instead. Anyway, you guys, you've been listening to the least favorite French words of all time. Venomous, horrible, unpronounceable words from people of all walks of life in France. If you've enjoyed it.
And elsewhere.
And
around.
And America, yeah. We
and
had some Americans in there. If you enjoyed it, tune into the next episode. We got lots planned. Follow us on Facebook at the Eiffel Tower. Download, subscribe, leave a review, and send us a message. Let us know. We want to read out some more reader emails next time.
Tell us who Ollie sounds like.
Yeah, I'd love to hear who you think I sound like. And if you think James didn't sound like...
He sounds like anyone but an Australian.
Yeah, I know. If you think James sounds like someone beside... Who was it? Mr. McLeod?
Anyone but an Aussie.
Yeah. Send them in. We want to hear from you. We love to hear where you're from, and we don't like to feel that we're sitting here talking to just Isabel and Mike as much as we love them. So, time for the fade out jingle. Bye, guys.
Eiffel Tower with Oliver G.